Hello, and welcome to Bill's Basement, Bill's Wargame World, my wargaming channel. It's Saturday, and I'm not with the Chuckleheads Wargaming group. I had to stay home and help the wife do yard work. So now it's Saturday evening, and of course, you may have watched some of my videos of the United States Army Education and Heritage Center last week. I learned a great deal about the Korean War. They have some great Korean War exhibits there. And I actually have a pretty good sized Korean War 54mm Army that really never gets to be used. I don't think I've actually used it only once in 5 years. We have Donald Featherstone rules. We are using beer and pretzel rules, a little bit of Buck Surdu's Combat Patrol mixed in, and a Donald Featherstone battles with model soldiers and his scenario book on the Korean War. To all my fans, or whatever you want to call people that watch my channel, thank you. I guess I'd like to say thank you to everyone in England and everywhere else, Arizona, Hawaii. I'm amazed how many people watch my crazy channel. Let's get to the Korean War. All right, our Korean War scenario, and please don't make fun of my table. This is what I've done. I did some liking around, and then I took cotton balls, because our Korean War scenario is a winter attack. Our figures are Marx and BMC, and yes, I had a few people say the BMC American Marines are a little bit big, but good enough for my basement. And here they are. They're all dug in. So what I did is I did lichen, and then I threw cotton balls around them to make it look like snow again. So we have dug up dirt. Our scenario, we have to get our wounded officer. We're going to say he's a colonel, and he's wounded badly, painted by Jim Shaw and his granddaughter. And we have to get him to the truck, one of the trucks, and evacuate off that road. Now at the same time, we have a 3 there for that road, a 2, a 1 and a 5 up there, and a 4 way off to the left, along with my glass of pineapple wine. So those are the entry points for our Chinese and North Koreans. I have a couple unique weapons here. Besides, everyone knows what the mortar is. But this is the first time I'm going to be using a recoilless rifle cannon. And pulled up the rules for it. So we're going to be using that. And this is going to be it for the American troops. We have roughly 20 Americans. We have a BAR buried in there. 130 caliber belt-fed machine gun. Up here in the idle area, and we're just going to say there are medics there working, patching people up. We have a couple of these beefed up bazookas that are an upgrade from the World War II version. And I'm really hoping you'll enjoy this video. Totally different. You don't see 54mm Korean War games very often. Let's go take a look at our Chinese and North Korean troops. All right, well, we have our North Koreans painted in a gray, our Chinese in more of a tan and a green, and yes, some are actually Russians that I've tried to do up a bit as North Koreans and Chinese, and I actually see a Highlander in there. A couple British troops have infiltrated my tub. Now, I'm going to show you my Chinese armored column. I think you might find this interesting. Well, these are my Chinese trucks, and I bought like 8 of them, and they actually came from China, and they're really neat. They even have lights in them, and I'm going to show you all the things I've done with them. We've added all kinds of equipment to them. All right, so I have one with a flak gun on it. another one just to transport, another one where I put a 50 caliber anti-aircraft battery on it. So this is my little batch of Korean War stuff, and a couple Russian T-34s. They're now Korean T-34s. Okay, let's set up the camera and prepare for our game and see which way the Chinese are coming on my random chart and what's appearing first. So for our rules, as you see, they're pretty simple. They're just a couple pages, and I posted these up in the comment section or community section of the site of the YouTube channel here. So we're gonna get going here. All right, let's see where we have our Chinese troops. Our Americans are dug in, and I'll be moving the camera angle around quite a bit, so don't worry. And we're gonna roll the dice. And so we have one for entry spot. The yellow die is the first Chinese troops are coming in at road 1. And that truck really isn't there yet. And then our 4, I have to check my chart, and that's a truck of 6 North Koreans. All right, I'll come back to you with that. All right, well, we are going to go ahead and move our truck. It is the first thing to get activated. All right, well, our Korean truck, which has 6 figures in it, which is what I rolled for my random chart, it could move 18 inches plus a bonus on the road, but we have a recoilless rifle and a bazooka. We're going to activate the bazooka team. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, because I'm activating that sort of out of sequence, they are going to be checking their all right, I had to check my charts. We have a bazooka team here, and we are going to fire our trusty bazooka. And what's cool is this isn't the World War II version. This is an upgraded version. And checked our range. And I just need 1 through 5 to hit. Nothing on a moving target for this game. And our Marines, though, are veterans. They're 1 through 6. And we rolled a 4. So that bazooka round has hit that truck. And a bazooka has an armor piercing value of the 0. And which is just means average. And a truck, of course, has a +3 armor class. In other words, it has no armor. So a 1 through 3, it actually misses the truck, bounces off, whatever. We rolled a 5. A 5 on my chart is immobilized. So our bazooka hit the truck. However, I get add 3 to 5 is an 8. I forgot. A truck is a modifier of a +3. You have to excuse this, but our truck just got blown up. All right. We're going to roll for our casualties and come back. Okay, on our casualties, our leader, our squad leader is still alive, a rifleman and a submachine gunner. The other 3 are dead. It was they had a roll on their skill check, and the other ones were killed in the wreckage. Our truck veered to the left, as you can see, and our bazooka team has fired. So units that have been activated, we're going to put a chip on them, and so that's a unit that's been activated, and they also will they're going to have to do a check later for morale. Right now, they are done. None of them suffered wounds from the explosion. And let's continue on. Well, I found a few World War II tents from BMC figures. I've never painted them. I threw them out there. They're tan instead of green. We're checking for our Chinese, and we're getting Chinese on road 2 now. And we're going to roll for that. And we have 2 squads. Alright, so our Chinese troops are booking down the road. I'm going to go ahead and move them, taking off 9 inches. They're going to do their checks to see if they can double time it. And one roll the 2, the other one roll the 1, so they can actually go from the edge of the table out 18 inches. I'm going to subtract 2 inches per figure and have them go prone. Alright, I'm going to do that and show you where we're at. Well, welcome back. My 2 6-man units have deployed. They did the full 18 inches. They can't do anything else. We flip back and we're going to roll to see what our Americans are doing. And I think one of my fire teams are going to open up on one of those units. So our Chinese troops are approaching, and I'm going to use Chinese and North Korean interchangeably for tonight. I'm here all alone, and also every activation I'm rolling to see if our colonel is ready to leave the MASH building. He is still not ready to leave to head to the truck. So we are going to activate this fire team. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 riflemen. And we're going to fire down there on the road. I'm going to pause the camera. Alright, my fire team is 5 M1 Grands. In my beer and pretzel rules with Donald Featherstone, he just had a regular rifle rolling 1 die. I give the M1 Grand 2 dice. And here we go. And I probably made some noise doing that. And I need, because of the range, but these are veteran Marines, we need 1 through 4s, and well, I did really good. Out of 10 bullets going out there, 7 of them hit targets. Now I'm rolling to see, of the 6, I'm rolling 6 six-sided dice. Number 2 has been hit twice, and all right. I'm going to go resolve the casualties so you won't get bored. Our M1 Grands have fired. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they fired right out there. And checking here. So he killed 3. 1 is wounded and 1 is fine. Well, those Koreans, we have 2 wounded and 1 is fine. The squad leader is fine. We'll do a morale check when they activate again. And then we need to see who's getting activated next. And I believe we're going to roll our die. And it's another Chinese unit. And quickly, they're coming on road 2. It's not good. I rolled a T-34. We got to pause the camera. Alright, on road 2, a T-34 has appeared. It's going to move 15 inches. It won't be able to fire. It's going to sit at the crossroads. I don't have anything hidden movement or hidden targets, and I'm playing solitaire. So I hope you're enjoying this. But of course, if we had hidden units and other people playing, play would be playing a lot different, of course. So let me see where this T-34 goes. Welcome back, welcome back. Our T-34 is advanced to there. It used all its movement, so it can't fire its whole machine gun or artillery piece. It's its main gun. The only bazooka I have that's not been activated is over there. And my recoilless rifle. They both can hit it. We're going to try a bazooka shot on a T-34. And I'm going to measure the range and get that out of the way, and I'll come back to you. Alright, we are long range. Let me get my magic die. Our bazooka team's loading up on a T-34, and it hits. Now, a T-34 is a tough target, even with a bazooka. And I'm rolling right now on the chart, and there we are. And we rolled a 1. Well, that's horrible. It bounces off, missed even on the flank. I activated that whole unit. I'm going to fire the 4. They got 6 grands that can fire long range, and they're prone. Need 1, 2s, and 3s. I got 1 hit, and I rolled a headshot. And it's number 1 figure. It's their leader. He got hit in the head. They get an extra morale marker. Well, I'm going to place that, and wow, we have our squad leader is dead. We have 2 wounded men in that unit, and our T-34 is fine though. This unit is totally fine, and we need to roll for our medical team. And let's see, let's grab a die over here. Hey, the colonel has been fixed at the MASH hospital. We're going to zip over there. Okay, so Colonel Walt, Colonel Walt is been operated on, and he's fine. He can now move 6 inches. So they need to get from there to the trucks and escape. Those are the orders. Save Colonel Walt Leach in the Korean War. So 54 millimeter Korean War game with random activation of units, and right now I'm doing quite well other than a T-34 arrived, and we're going to pause the camera. I just rolled for activation, and the Americans got the activation for this phase, and I think I'm going to open up the 30 caliber on that unit right there. I have a belt-fed machine gun sitting up there, and we're going to go ahead and roll that. That's 8 dice, and they get a little bonus because they're belt fed, and we're going to go ahead and roll that and resolve it so you don't have to deal with all those dice rolls. Okay, welcome back. Our belt fed machine gun fired a full burst of 8 dice. 2 figures were killed. This one's been wounded twice with 2 wounds. And so right now my Americans are doing really well holding off the Chinese, but you know, there's only really about 25 Americans. They do have a lot better morale and weapon to hit power, but I have a total of about 120 Chinese that could show up randomly. So we're going to go ahead and roll the die and see what happens next. Well, welcome back. I rolled really bad. I have 24 poorly trained Chinese militia coming, and they're coming on that road there, and it's bad. They're blowing bugles, and they're coming out for the charge. Now, one nice thing is I did roll on a 1 through 3. They would have saw that unit there that's dug in, and they failed that on their check, so they've actually bypassed that. We're going to move over and get a closer look. I hope you like my Chinese bugle sound. I thought that was a neat touch, and having the whole evening to work on a war game and no pressure with anything, I can add a little bit of fun. Leave comments what you think. All right, so from this angle here, our Chinese, or I guess they're North Korean militia, and they are poorly trained. They only hit on a 1 through 5. They have to be at the shorter range even to hit because they're so poorly trained. But there's a lot of them. So they're coming in, and I'm hoping this unit here has already been activated, but we're getting ready for a new turn anyhow. And our colonel has, by the way, has moved closer to our truck. And there he is, and he's trying to escape. And then once he's on board a truck and all, my other units can start falling back. The MASH hospital that's at the, I guess, the idle building will start to do the fallback. And I hope you understand. I'm not one of those fancy wargaming channels. I'm just goofing around in the basement. And I hope you're enjoying this. And you don't see a lot of 54s. I'm going to go ahead and see what happens next. All right, I got 2 activations. I rolled really well for our United States Marines. And it's time to light up the mortar. And we're going to do 2 mortar rounds. And we're going to send them out. So I'm getting ready to drop mortar shells. And I'm going to try to do what I can with knocking those North Korean militia troops out. So I'm going to go roll the dice. And we both got 2 hits. I'm going to lay out my pattern and roll casualties, and we'll come back to you. Well, my mortar fire was on target. I roll 4 d10s per damage per that, so it was 8 dice. I hit with 7 of the 8, and I have wounded North Koreans, and I have dead North Koreans, and it really chopped them up. I got to lay out some markers for morale checks, but my mortar team did very well, and we're getting. I rolled to see if the colonel's moved, and he did not this time. I gather it's slippery going down this slope, so our mortar barrage did well. I got to lay out some markers. Well, I rolled poorly for the Americans for activation, and it's the Chinese, and we're going to see what happens on which road. Road 5, which is this road here. This is road 5. Somewhere there's a die. These are the Peter dice, by the way, from Wargamer Peter gave me all these giant dice. I use them all the time. And let's see what happens. I have to roll to see what I have for coming on. Oh, wow. I rolled boxcars. I got to look that up. I know Snake Eyes is the 24 figures. Okay, well, it is a truck with 2 heavy mortars, 81 millimeter mortars. They do 5 dice per mortar if they land on target, along with a couple support figures. And I messed up in my rule sheets when I looked up for my Chinese appearance. I forgot I can call in for Corsair. So the last I don't know, hour and 20 minutes or whatever here I've been playing, I've never called in any air support. So we will be doing that now. I guess it was cloudy, so the Corsairs weren't getting weren't able to find Hill 122, we'll call this, in our hypothetical world. Our mortars have set up, by the way. That's all they can do, and they do have a pickup truck. So let's go and activate some more, and I got to put an activation marker out. Okay, I checked for a Corsair, and we don't have one coming, but our colonel is now at the truck, and he's going to load up into one of the trucks and get out of Dodge. And I have to roll to see if they get him in the truck, and then the truck can move the next turn. So we got 2 more turns, basically. And we are going to roll to see what gets activated next. Okay, I have one thing left for the Americans. They fired, and I did skip a video. I thought I hit the video record, and I didn't. So this squad out here fired and killed off a couple. The leader over on the left of the truck thing, but that was it. He got shot 3 times, and because I'm rolling random where the bullets are hitting. So I could have 3 hits, but they all may go into one figure. I don't always do that for convention games because it can slow things down. So the only thing the Americans have left is a recoilless rifle. We have the colonel did not get on the truck, and we are at the end of this turn for me to pick up poker chips, and we have no Corsair. And speaking of the Corsair, I need to go find one for the game because sooner or later I'm probably going to roll it on that chart. So I'm going to pick up my red markers and we'll get ready for more activations. All right, I am ready to begin, and I cannot find a Corsair at the moment, and I don't know if any of you have this issue, but sometimes you don't know where you put something in a box when you have endless boxes of wargaming stuff. So I have this F80 we're going to use as our ground support if I roll for it. And I did roll, and we have a Chinese activation, and it's our first one here, and it's coming in at road number 4, which is right here, which really is not good for my Marines. So, gosh, I'll pause the camera here. Well, I'll tell you what's coming on. Oh wow, we have 2 squads of elite troops. That'd be 12 figures, and I'll pause the camera and set them up, and they're coming right on the flank of this bazooka team. Man. And that plane's not there, by the way. Well, welcome back. This entire 12-man unit has unleashed into my bazooka team. Gotta put out some markers that they've been activated. And unfortunately, they both are dead. So, one took 3 wounds. One was killed outright. And, I had 7 total hits out of 26 dice. So that foxhole has been cleared out, and that's not good. So my Americans have pressure on the left flank, really bad, or like right on top of me. North Koreans have artillery or mortar batteries set up, heavy mortars, and I got a T-34 coming in the front, and we got to see if Colonel Walt Leach is on the truck, and yes, he is. Let's go check on Walt here. Okay, we have Walt in the truck. The next time I roll and he activates, he will be off the table, and my Marines will get the order to evacuate the hospital, and they will move 9 inches off the table. So far, I've only lost 2 Marines, so I'm doing pretty good. And we're going to get Colonel Walt Leach off the table. I hope he finds it humorous that I put him in his game, the leader of the Chuckleheads. So let's roll to see who gets the next activation. Well, my Chinese and North Koreans are getting tired of being shot at. I did not move the full movement. I'm going to go ahead and have them fire into this foxhole. Now, with that kind of cover, believe it or not, they need, they're in -4, they're going to need 1s and 2s, but they got a lot of dice to roll. I have, so it's like 3, it'd be 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 16, 17, 23, 24, 25, 26. So I got 26 D10s to roll, needing 1s and 2s. So I'm going to pause the camera so you don't have to deal with that. And they're firing right there at that first foxhole. I don't think this is going to go good. Well, I rolled for an activation. No Chinese troops. I'm going to try to bring in... Boy... I'm going to try to charge with those North Koreans. Their morale isn't the best. I need a 1, 2, or 3, and I roll a 1. They're going to go 18 inches towards the trucks. They see them fired up, and I'm going to go ahead and move them. Well, I don't know. I moved them up there, and those Marines can actually try to activate on a 1 through 6. And the Marines roll the 1. Alright. Everyone out there on YouTube land, you can make fun of my poor decision making as the Chinese commander. I ran out there in the open. I didn't use any points to go to prone. And I have an entire American squad. Bazooka and 3 riflemen, 6 dice, and they're going to open up, and it's going to be bleak. I'm going to go ahead and resolve that. In my haste to try to capture Colonel Walt, I messed up. Okay, I rolled really well. They also rolled a mandatory morale check because I had a headshot. The whole unit got shaken. They're running off. One figure is wounded and incapacitated. He can fire at a -2, but he can't move. And the rest of them are dead or running away. So, this unit's been activated, and they did fantastic. You got to remember, these Korean troops are hitting on a 1 through 3 or a 1 or a 2 on a D10. These Marines are hitting on 1 through 6. And, their base morale number is a 1 through 6. So they're really fighting much better, even though they're outnumbered. Well, I rolled for an activation, and I didn't get it. I got a Chinese activation, but no Chinese reinforcements. And the Chinese are going to lob mortar shells. Or should I do the T-34 and bear down on the trucks? I'm going to roll a die, and we're going to let the die decide. Mortars are going to be odd, and the T-34 is going to be even. Alright, I'm going to activate the T-34, and we're going to move. That can move 6 inches and still fire. So let's move the camera. Okay, our T-34 is moved up. Colonel Walt is in the truck that's blocked by the other truck. So the T-34 can fire, so we're going to resolve that. We're going to move the camera to the other side and see what happens. Okay, our T-34 is going to fire its round into this truck, and of course Walt's in this one. I don't know. Going through one truck, would it go through the second truck? Let's see. There's absolutely nothing in the rules for that. But first, let's just see if we hit the first truck. The first truck has been hit, and it's on fire. Let me go smoke that. Alright, the T-34 blew up that truck. Now, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to roll a die, and on a 1 or a 2, it's going to go into the next truck, and we're going to roll damage. A 1 or a 2 on a D6. And I'm just using a regular D6. And I rolled a 5. So we're going to say that truck here did not get hit. And our medical fellows are here. Painted by Jim Shaw and his granddaughter. There they are. And let's see if they're going to... And I rolled. They will be able to leave the table here. So our truck is heading out with Colonel Walt Leach. So that's off the table and gone. So our first American victory condition is fulfilled. We have successfully driven back wave after wave of Chinese troops. I have not rolled for there's a second roll for another 24 figure horde, but that hasn't come. And let's roll for our initiatives here. Well, the Americans have initiative. I have the recoilless rifle here, but it's on the wrong side of my hill, so they can't see the T-34. And to move it, and our orders now that Walt has escaped, we're going to fall back. We have, I only have about 18 Marines on the table, really. We have a mortar battery set up. I have 24 more Chinese and 2 more 6-man regular units to come on. There's no way we could hold out. So the order now is to withdraw 9 inches per turn. So we are going to get this section mounted up and get these heavy weapons off the table. All right, our recoilless rifle and mortar, the heavy weapons squad is retreated. Oh, and the 30 caliber belt fed, that's part of that. So the 30 caliber is gone too. So the heavy weapons team has retreated. We have orders to get off the table now or out of the area. The MASH hospital that's up there has been evacuated, we're saying now, and the colonel is gone. The Chinese are going to activate their mortar battery. And we're going to lay out some templates. They hit on a 1 through 5, I think it is. I'm going to pause the camera here. All right, here comes our incoming mortars, and I'm not bothering with sound effects. We'll just, and we have 4 hits on that, on the left one, and on the right one. Oop, need another die. 3 hits there. I'm going to roll for wounds, and I got to see what's under there. That would help. We got 1 headshot, so this guy is dead with a head. He took shrapnel to the head. The other one is wounded. And I gotta find my wound markers. Alright, my one Marine there, he has got 1 wound. He only can move 6 inches now. And the other one is critically wounded with 2 serious wounds. All he can do is shoot at a -2. So my front line just got pummeled by this mortar battery. And I gotta mark them. And point wise, I thought I was doing good, but things are crumbling. We are going to roll for initiative now. I need the Americans to get the initiative backed so I can move these figures off the table and win the game as the Americans. All right, I rolled for the other 24-man unit, and we're going to roll to find out where it appears. Number 4 is here, and 1 and 5 are on the left. 2's way up there, 3's at the far end. We're going to use this die, and they come in. Number 5 is here. So I got to set 24 figures up on this road. I'm going to pause the camera. I got to get the rest of my squads off the table. All right, well, the Chinese are blowing their bugles. We got a horde of them coming, and they moved 18. They passed their morale check to get the bonus at 3 extra inches. We'll see what happens. I need some initiative rolls coming up. All right, the Americans have got an initiative roll, and I'm going to fall back that far unit, I think. So let's take our camera over there and get them off the table. Okay, this squad here has been activated, but that's from the previous time, I believe. And if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. We're going to see if we can get them off the table. They can basically get off the table. Need to do a morale check. So I'm double timing it, huffing along, and I rolled a 4. So they can double time, and they are off the table. Of course, Colonel Walt's gone. So these guys have made it. And this is where I'm going to keep track of my victory points. My 2 medics, the MASH hospital held out, and now we're retreating, and let's see where we're at. All right, the Chinese have initiative, and we're going to open up with the squad in the front. And if you're wondering what I mean, it's that squad there that hasn't done anything. I sort of they pass morale and all, but they have some heavy weapons in there. So let's go over there and roll their damage dice. Alright, I have 1 and 4, 5, 6. I got about 6 dice. And we have a wounded man up there. We have a BAR guy. The Browning automatic rifle is actually hidden in all of that. And, I haven't activated that squad, but let's see what happens with our fire from the Chinese troops. Well, it was my lucky day for the Marines because with the flak jacket roll, the only thing I lost is the figure that was wounded twice, and he is now... So I lost that one figure, and that's it from all that firepower. And we're rolling here. Let me see what's on my chart. And I have to roll again. Now if I get a 1 through 4, I get air support. Let's see what happens. And I got a 3. Alright, so our airplane, I forgot what it was. I think it's an F-80. Yes, it is. So our F-80 is going to be swooping in, and I don't know where to go. So we'll take it. Let's knock out that T-34. Sorry about the dead camera stuff. Alright, we're going to hit that T-34, and my charts are made for a Corsair with 6 dice for machine guns and 4 rockets. So we're going to fire the 4 rockets, and it's 1 through 4s, 5, 5, a 3, and a 10. So only 1 rocket hit, and oh my goodness, a rocket's a +1, and on a tank, I gotta flip my page, it's immobilized. So our F-80 flew in. So the F-80 flew in and knocked out a track on our T-34. And then it has the machine guns. My machine gun fire on those running away North Koreans was useless. I rolled 7, 7, 8, and a 10. So I needed 1 through 4s. So the ground strafing was terrible. Alright, all I have left is a half a dozen GIs in this trench area. I need to get another initiative roll for the Americans. Okay, my Americans did not get an initiative roll. I don't have any reinforcements for the Chinese. I want to try to roll on them to see how to activate them. I need a 1, 2, or 3, and I got a 3. So, there we go. I'm going to charge again with these conscripts and try to overrun this trench line for victory points. The colonel got away, but I get points for the squad. Trying to kill off the platoon, I guess. I got to move a lot of Koreans. Alright, well, one more charge and they will overrun this trench system. Now you can't tell, but I have a half a dozen of the last of the Marines in there and along that line, including a BAR man laying down. I got to get initiative for the Marines. And I do. Okay. I'm going to move the camera. I can't decide which area to fall back from yet. Alright, I'm rolling morale to see if I can go 18 inches. I failed that. My Marines rolled a 9. So this one only can go 6 because he's wounded. But he can go back. Let's see. He can get back to about there. He's in the open. I got troops in the open. So we're trying to fall back and get off the table. I'm going to pause the camera here. Okay, so the BAR man's... I dropped him back enough to be able to fire. This wounded figure can't fire. He only could go 9. He's going to fire. and then the rest of the squads are over here, and that's all we got left to evacuate. So we're gonna roll the BAR guy and have him fire a few rounds out there and see what happens. Okay, Mr. BAR man is not Kirby from the TV show Combat. I fluffed up on all 4 rolls, so we didn't hit anything, and neither did our other riflemen. I gotta get initiative for the American Marines, and if I do, and I did not, what to try to activate? We're gonna try to activate the giant horde again, and I rolled a 7, which failed. So it's going back to the Americans, and the Americans can activate. And I'm going to try for a double sprint move, which I made it, so I can move 18 inches. Let's head over to the other side of the table. Alright, this figure, he gets to about here. He can't go 18 inches. He's wounded. We don't know where, but something's wrong with him. And this squad is off the table. So there they are. So we have that squad there. And we're going to measure our BAR man and our rifleman. So he can make it, and so can't he. Alright. We're going to say our wounded man here gets off the table. He doesn't get seen by the Chinese, and the Chinese are now going to be coming up over the hill, and the hill will be falling. As far as Chinese equipment on my roll, the only thing we didn't have come on is the Chinese anti-aircraft gun, and I think another 6 or 12 man unit. Let me do the points. Alright, well, our Americans have escaped. They saved Colonel Walt. I lost a total of 9 Americans, and 2 wounded escaped off the table. The North Koreans and Chinese we did not keep track of. So we started with 50 points for the Americans. Walt was worth 10, and every figure coming off is worth 2. So the Americans did very well. It's looks like a pretty good victory, almost stunning, in fact. So let's go do a little bit of picture taking here of our battlefield, and we're going to close this out with the picture of the truck heading out. All right. Well, this is it. I hope you enjoyed this game. You know, we had some hiccups. I couldn't find my Corsairs. I haven't played a Korean War game, only a couple times with my rules. These figures are new. These are the new BMC. I know a couple people think they're a little thick and big. I think they worked fine for my basement. I hope you enjoyed being invited into my basement in Nottingham, Maryland. And I really think adding the cotton balls to the foxholes gave it a little bit more flair. I think that's it. Please leave comments. We don't have a Chuckleheads game until September 9th. So this was my war game for this Saturday evening, and I'm going to pick up hill number 122 in Korea somewhere. Thank you for watching. Leave comments. Please be kind. Stay safe. Be kind and be courteous. And leave comments what you think. And don't forget, I'm not a fancy war game YouTube channel. I'm just Bill goofing around in the basement with 54mm figures.